Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 5, where I'll be going over all the news and information and whatever else we've got from Games Workshop, from the Warhammer community website. But, yeah, first off, we didn't do it last week because I didn't actually have anything, because nothing had arrived yet, but let's check out why I actually picked up this week.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
Okay, so I haven't actually picked up all too much this week, and realistically, it was stuff that was supposed to have arrived last week, but arrived a little bit too late to appear in the video. So starting off with the main thing, we have Captain Messinius of the Space Marines, of course, of, what is it, the white, whatever they are, the Ultramarine Successor chapter that I can never remember the name of, but, yeah. He was the, Black Library Celebration model for this year. I had to pick him up, even though I'm not necessarily... Is it White Consoles? Is that what he is? I'm not, a White Consoles, fan by any means, but he's a very cool model. I'm excited to actually potentially paint him up in a different way, just to be something for my Raven Guard or whatever else. And, yeah, very cool model. Honestly, I'm very excited to build him up. I have actually... waited almost a week to open this guy just because of how long I've had him. But, yeah, I wanted to show off in packaging in this video. So, yeah, very, very cool model. I do really like the Power Fist and stuff. Very, very neat. And along with that, because it was obviously the Black Library Celebration, there's also the Black Library Celebration 2023 free book. I believe this was with literally any purchase. I just happened to get it with the, corresponding model. But I haven't yet read into this at all. I know there's a little bit of... I swear, I thought I saw... there is art. If I can find that again. Can I find it? I've only skimmed through this. I haven't actually read anything yet properly. There? No, that's just Horus Rising. Okay. Well, anyway. I swear there is actual art in here, just odd little images. But still, a little short story book. Has a few different stories from across... Warhammer, and yeah, in any case, very, very cool. But yeah, that's everything I've picked up this week, so into the topics. And now getting into the main topics with our first kind of interesting topic relating to Warhammer sustainability. And I know that sounds like a really boring topic, but this is actually kind of cool. So, we're actually getting a recycling trial, and that sounds really stupid, because why didn't they just implement this fully? But essentially what's going to be happening is that there's going to be special recycling bins located at Warhammer stores that you can drop your plastic sprues and empty paint pots into, and presumably they get melted down and reused for more sprues and more empty paint pots, which is always very, very cool to hear about. It's great when this hobby uses so much plastic, to hear that, Games Workshop and Warhammer and stuff are actively trying to make it a little bit better for the environment, because obviously plastic uses a lot of materials, uses a lot of oil and other non-infinite items, and a lot of finite materials. So it's good to hear that they are actually trying to fix that a little bit. There's not going to be every single Warhammer store that's going to be involved, but there is a list. I'll just quickly go over that. So there's Belfast, Birmingham, Brighton, Cambridge, Canterbury, Carlisle, Exeter, Ipswich, Glasgow, Lincoln, London, which is the Tottenham Court Road London Warhammer store, Kings Lynn, Manchester, Newcastle, Norwich, Nottingham, Oxford, Plymouth, Reading, or Reading, I can never remember which way around it said, Rotherham, which is great for me because that's actually my local store, Salisbury, Sheffield Central specifically, not the outer one, South Shields, Southampton, St Albans, Swansea, Warhammer World itself, which is great, and York, which is also good for me because I go to York quite a lot. But, yeah, it's not that many in the grand scheme of things, and there's definitely various stores that I personally go to on a somewhat regular basis that aren't on this list, namely Doncaster and Huddersfield. Both of those just aren't going to be involved. But it's great to hear that there are actually plenty both in the north and south. There's some in Scotland, some in Wales, some in both the north and south of England. It's great to hear that they are actually making it varied rather than just saying, oh yeah, it's just going to be Central England, it's just going to be London, it's just going to be wherever else. It's good to know that they are actually going pretty vast around it, just to make sure that as many people as possible are able to drop things off into these. It's not exactly like there's any benefit to doing it for the consumer, other than, you're helping the environment in a very small way. But yeah, if you're someone who just typically throws away sprues and empty paint pots like I do, unfortunately, this is a really nice step forward. And, you know, if you're not someone who decides, I'm going to use plastic sprues to make more models, because that's what some people do, this is a perfectly good way of dealing with them. You know, you're not wasting them, they are going to be reused, and overall it's just a good system. So, yeah, honestly, congrats to Games Workshop, you know, well done on this one. Hopefully this gets moved out to every Warhammer store, but I guess we'll see how successful it is. In any case, at least in the short term, it's going to be very, very good for the community. But moving on from sustainability onto the actual main topics for today, the real main topics, starting off with the brand new Minka Lesk model. Now, if you don't know Minka Lesk, she is a very major character in the whole Cadia stands, I guess, timeline. Cadia stands, Cadian Honor, and Traitor Rock. Like, she's the main character of those stories, along with a few others. I believe she's actually in 6 different stories. There's an omnibus coming out soon. In any case, Minka Lesk, very, very popular guard character, female guard character as well, and she now has a model, and I've got to say, I really like this model in every way except for the face. The face does not capture the art at all, and I know, you know, it's difficult to capture drawn or painted art in a model, in a 3D model, but they've really dropped the ball, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. There's something about the face that's just, like, it's not Minka-esque to me. I don't know. I'm a fan of the Cadia book series. I've only actually read Cadia Stands and Cadian Honor, which the model is mostly based off Cadian Honor anyway, in terms of aesthetics. It has the bandana and stuff. I don't know. I envision her far closer to how she is shown on the book covers, and I don't know, even looking at Traitor Rock, like, she looks completely different to this model. It's just, the cover art for the books is not the same as this, but she is very nice in the way that she actually comes with both a lasgun as well as a bolt pistol and power sword, so you can actually run her in 2 different types of squad, which is always great. I wonder, like, realistically, how many people are going to be running her as just, like, a more generic non-character sort of model, because you can easily run her as just a grunt, essentially. So I wonder how many people are going to be doing that, especially, like, she's not exactly anything too special in terms of her aesthetic. Like, she's a pretty standard Astra Militarum soldier, I suppose, that just happens to be a named character. So I do wonder, like, what rules she may get for her specifically, though I think for the most part she's going to be just a character you can drop into your squads, which I don't really see an issue, especially if you're a Cadian player. I'm not personally, when it comes to Astra Militarum, I'm not a fan of Cadian. But yeah, overall, very good model. I am very excited to get this one. I will be getting it, at the very least, just to have a Cadian model painted, because I currently don't have any Cadian models painted up. But yeah, still very, very cool to get Minka Lesk. I want to call her Minka Lisk for some reason. Very excited to get her, and yeah, hopefully this means, along with, you know, the previous models that we've gotten recently, we're going to be getting a lot more book characters in model form, which will be very, very cool. Flying over to Necromunda, we have the Ashwood Stranger, which is a very interesting looking model. I'm not, as I've said many a time before, not the biggest fan of Necromunda in general. I like the aesthetic of some of the models, and, you know, honestly, some of them are some of the best models that Warhammer does. But yeah, we have the last just lawman, essentially, in the Underhive. That's at least what they're saying in the description. And he looks pretty cool. He's got a little sword, he's got like a shotgun pistol, he's got like an SMG, he's covered in various types of armor, including what looks like it could be tower armor, potentially, I don't know. But yeah, overall, a very nice aesthetic. The little painted picture of him looks very cool as well. I don't know really if I care that much about this character. He looks cool, and he looks like he'll fit very well into, you know, whatever faction he's supposed to be, because I don't really know. But yeah, overall, like, he looks great. I like his little, like, floofy, off to one side, like, mohawk looking thing. I like his respirator, his little, I don't know if it's a cybernetic eye or whether that's, you know, more of a goggle piece. I don't really know. But yeah, overall his aesthetic is very nice. His sword's really cool. It's a shame we don't seem to actually have a version of that sword that's out, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, his weapons look great. I'm sure he plays really well as well. Like, just overall, painting this guy is going to be a mess just because of the different materials that are all over him. But yeah, very cool for Necromunda players. Very good to be seeing more models. And at the end of the day, it is another resin model for Necromunda, which, take it or leave it when it comes to resin models. But at the end of the day, I don't really mind it too much. I quite like the aesthetic of this model. It doesn't lose anything by being resin. And if you're a Necromunda player, you already have plenty of resin stuff. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. They haven't promised anything when it comes to moving things to plastic. So, yeah, overall, pretty good model. Probably not going to be getting it myself, but I'm sure plenty of people are really looking forward to this one. And moving over into the Mortal Realms, we have yet more Seraphon with the Skink Starseers. And this is actually a new model. We actually saw a previous Starseer, which was the more froggy type of Seraphon. This is a skink, and yeah, I like this guy. It's just a skink on a throne with a staff. I don't really know what else to say about it. He has Scry the Stars. That's kind of his ability thing. I don't really know. It looks really cool. Just for how it's painted, I love the purple. The purple's really nice. But yeah, it's a pretty standard skink HQ choice, really. I don't really know what else to say about it. We've already seen the Slan Star Master, so it's not really anything too special. I do quite like it overall. The aesthetic of these models is phenomenal, as always. It does kind of give us a taste of what skinks are going to keep looking like for a little while. Like, this is a little bit of an update compared to older skink models, but it's not too much. It's keeping most of the aesthetics the same, which, in a way is good. Sauruses have changed so much, so it's good to see that skinks are mostly staying the same, at least for now. His headdress is cool. I like the little portal sort of structure behind him. Overall, just a good skink model. I like it. I am starting to get a little bit tired of skink models. I think I said that last week or the week before that I wasn't getting bored of them. I'm starting to. Now I'm seeing them so much. It's like the only thing we get for AOS right now. So, yeah, hopefully, we see a release of more skinks, just because I do want to see more skinks with a new, updated design. But, yeah, right now, I'd like to see something else, something a little bit more varied. I don't know. And speaking of varied, we have Heresy Thursday, where we have yet another tank. Yeah, we have the Plastic Legion Vindicator, which is a tank a lot of people have been wanting for a decently long time. I don't care about tanks in general. I have a single Rhino, and I love it, but other than that, I do not care. I'm not someone who runs a lot of tanks. I have it's actually a Chaos Rhino, specifically, for my Chaos army, for my 40k army, and that's it. I don't have any want or need to get any other tanks, and that does not change with the Plastic Vindicator. It does look great. It looks really good. The fact that it has a 2-in-1 in the kit, as in you have two different ways of building it, is very cool. You have both the big cannon and the even bigger cannon. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just another tank to add to the million tanks that I'm not going to be getting. It's cool. I'm sure a lot of people are excited for this. A lot of people like to run entire tank legions in Horus Heresy, so I'm sure for those people it's going to be great. But for me, it just doesn't really do anything for me. I like it. It looks cool. It's a good tank. That's all I can really say about it. It's kind of a shame because it is, just whatever. But yeah, new Vindicator in plastic. Can't complain. Move more of our troops to plastic, please. But yeah, very cool. And to finish off, of course, we have the Rumour Engine for the 7th of March 2023, and it's a hand. It could be any number of hands. It looks kind of like it could be armoured, but I think this is probably AOS, so I don't really know. This could be anything. This could be a commissar for all I know. It's a palm outstretched, and they're stopping something, or they're using a power, or something like that. I don't know. My guess it's an AOS model. I don't really know what it could be beyond that. I doubt it's anything Imperium if it is from 40k, unless it might be Necromunda, actually. It could be a Necromunda model. You know what? It's either AOS or Necromunda. There we go. That's my prediction. But yeah, it's a hand. There we go. And on that note, that is going to be it for Warhammer Weekly Episode 5. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new, and ring that bell so you don't miss an upload. Otherwise, tell me what you thought of all the reveals today. Are you tired of tanks yet? Are you tired of skinks yet? Or Seraphon in general? What do you think of Minkalesk's face specifically? Because I like that model. I'm just not sold on it being Minkalesk, you know. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but we'll survive. I just wanna take